All right, ladies, welcome to probably the most underdiscussed, misunderstood, mood swingy part of your cycle, which is the luteal phase. This is the phase that makes you question your life, your body, your pants, and I'm going to show you why it's happening and what we can do to offset the symptoms. So, what is the luteal phase? Here's the deal. After ovulation, your body enters a luteal phase, which is basically the second half of your cycle, from around day-ish 15 up until your period starts. This is when progesterone kicks up, estrogen dips, and your body's preparing for a potential pregnancy, whether you're trying to or not. And hormonally, that shift changes everything from your mood to your metabolism. So, what's actually happening in your body? Let's break it down. Your progesterone is rising, which is meant to be a calming thing, but it also then slows digestion. So that's what leads to bloating and kind of inconsistent number twos. Your estrogen dips, and that impacts your serotonin, which is why we have low mood swings, low confidence. Cortisol sensitivity increases during this time, meaning stress hits harder and your blood sugar gets a little more unstable. And that's why you feel so cravey. Your cravings go wild. Your energy is all over the place and it's hard to focus. It isn't in your head. It's in your hormones, right? And that's why this phase, it feels so hard, right? This is the part of your cycle where we literally feel like we're failing, when in reality, we're just in a normal cycle. The bloating, the mood shifts, the constipation, sluggy feelings, emotionally triggered, questioning your life. You're also hungrier. And again, that's normal. Your metabolism increases slightly in this phase, and your brain wants more carbs to balance out that serotonin. This just makes you human, you know? And most diets tend to backfire at this point. Why? They ignore the fact that your physiological shifts happen during this time. You feel like you should push harder, that you should restrict more, and that you kind of guilt yourself into that. But in the luteal phase, that will backfire. If you're pushing through HIIT cardio, that's going to continue to spike your cortisol, right? Your mood's going to tank, and so many things. So, what does your body actually need? Let's talk about how to support it, right? This phase calls for nourishment because we need to balance all of these things. The first one's around calories, right? You actually need a little more food. 100 to 300 extra calories is a normal range, which sounds a bit weird, but it's true. You're burning through that. Carbs are your friend. So my keto people, this is the time that we're not keto, right? This is the time where things like complex carbohydrates, oats, root vegetables, fruit, those things that we really need to invest in. Magnesium, which we can also get through dark leafy greens, right? B6, all of those things help with your mood, your cramps, your digestion. So those are the things that we want to supplement with. And then we want to actually detensify our workouts. We don't need HIIT. We don't need to hit PRs, right? This is when we need to work on mobility. We need to do gentle strength training to keep that blood flow going. Stretching is amazing here. But the biggest thing is sleep. That is our non-negotiable. This is where recovery needs to be high and fly, right? So there's some easy swaps that you can do just to make it stupid simple, right? And 5 of them are like, instead of skipping breakfast and fasting, make sure it's a staple to have a protein-rich breakfast paired with carbs in the morning to keep that blood sugar really stable, to complement the serotonin. Instead of doing HIIT every day and kicking your butt, gentle walks, add in some weights, just like 3 times a week, maybe 4 if you can. Again, We are not restricting more because we feel bloated. That's only going to make it worse. We actually want to slightly increase our whole food sources of carbs. Like I said, cruciferous veggies, complex carbohydrates. And instead of like forcing discipline and guilt on yourself, listen to your body. What does it need, right? Don't ignore the cravings. Plan some treats with intention because it'll benefit the extra calories that you need, but also that serotonin too. It's about really syncing up with what your body needs and planning accordingly, right? So this is kind of a sample of like how you should set up your luteal week in order to feel your best. None of these things are crazy or out of the norm of what we already do, right? But it's really making sure that during this time it's a non-negotiable. So during a crap week, you can feel your best, right? Again, protein and carbs in the morning. If you can get natural sunlight before like 11, 5 minutes, do it. Gentle movement, stretching, all those things. Midday, after lunch walk, get in some training. Make sure again you have a very balanced lunch that's protein forward and really not fasting. Do not starve yourself. At night, Epsom salt is going to help everything feel relaxed. That's key for stress, muscle tension. 10 out of 10. Magnesium and a bedtime snack. Make it dark chocolate. Give the body a decent time. 10 o'clock is like way too late for me on most days, but making sure that you're getting enough restorative sleep is very important. And none of these things are fancy, right? Just simple to get you through. So, hopefully this isn't overwhelming. It's super approachable to tackle that phase that we all really, really did.